Before we get started here, I just wanted to give a small warning that Floor 4 is currently very laggy and actually caused my game to crash multiple times during the recording of the boss fight. So this video might not be as smooth as some of my other ones. Anyways, today we're back on Hypixel and I'm going to show you the most effective and easiest way to get through Floor 4 and defeat the new boss Thorn. If you like what you see, leave a like, sub, ring the bell for good luck, and check the description for all the goods. Be sure to join my Discord to stay up to date with the community, and it's also a fun place to hang out. Alright, enough rambling from me. Go describe the perfect taco in the comments, and enjoy the video. The first thing to do is make sure you're properly suited up for Floor 4. While it's possible to beat it with worse gear, I strongly recommend adaptive armor for all damaging classes. This includes Berserker and Mage. For healer, I recommend 3/4 Zombie Soldier and the Mender Helmet or Fedora. Win 5 starred, this set has much more EHP than 3/4 Perfect Tier 12. Mages got nerfed pretty heavily in this update, but that doesn't make them useless. While the new meta is definitely healer and berserker, the ideal loadout for an equal balance of tankiness, healing, and damage is 2 healers, 2 mages, and 1 super strong berserker. Make sure you bring the new Dungeon 4 potion in, as it does provide some small buffs that could save your life in a pinch. I also recommend getting a stack of 16 Spirit Leaps, so you can teleport to someone in danger, and TNT for blowing up crypts. As soon as the dungeon starts, the berserker should take the lead and use his ultimate ability. This keeps the berserker alive as the small minions provide support for him. Healers should throw a healing circle down in front to provide assistance. If you can make it through the first room alive, you can easily make it to the Watcher room. When fighting monsters close ranged, it's important to remember which ones have attacks that deal true damage. Take it slow at first, monsters can be unpredictable, and you don't want to end up like I did fighting a Skeletor. Floor 4 has a significantly bigger dungeon than the previous 3, meaning more puzzles, more rooms, and more enemies. You also get a lot more blessings, and it's important to grab each one, from every lost adventurer, puzzle, secret, and anything else you can find. Each blessing provides a significant boost to your stats. There is a custom dungeon texture pack that allows you to see breakable walls. This is useful for finding secrets hidden underground or through walls. It also makes traps red so they are easier to spot. I will leave a link to this pack in the description. The Watcher room is just like the ones before. It really isn't that hard. I can beat it by myself, so you will have an easy time with it as well. The last thing before we get into the boss fight is an old rumor I will put to rest. Fairies will not bring down your score. The bonus score category is from blowing up crypts with TNT. It is critical while we are still new to the floor to kill all the fairies, as each one drops a revive stone you can use to revive a teammate instantly during the boss fight. Personally, I recommend giving them all to the Berserker, since they should be the final one to die, and the Berserker should always revive the healers first, as they can bring each other back along with the other party members. Thorn is a fast-paced but tedious boss fight. The boss is a large ghast who circles the arena and is not damageable to any normal weapon. He summons farm animals, which swarm the field, dealing tons of damage to players who get trapped in the stampede. The idea of this boss fight is players must defeat as many farm animals as possible, and eventually, a mob called the Spirit Bear spawns in the center. Think of him as an angry archaeologist. He has 5 million health, a bow, and a sword. Killing him will drop the Spirit Bow, a bow that goes into your 9th hotbar slot and has 1 arrow. This is how you damage Thorn. If you miss, the bow breaks, and you must wait for another Spirit Bear to spawn. 5 shots to Thorn will defeat him. Now let's get into some tips and tricks you can use to have an easier time slaying Thorn. The first thing I will recommend is the best way to kill the farm animals. Around the arena there are multiple circles which occasionally set on fire. Luring the mobs into this fire will force them to take 5% of their maximum health as damage each second they stand there. Assuming that you have the fire talisman, you will be unaffected by the damage the fire deals, meaning you can just stand there while you watch the world burn around you. Next is a little trick I learned to push the bear up against a wall. The secret here is to have a knockback 2 weapon to push the bear out of the group of defensive farm animals, and into one of the caves carved out of the wall in the arena. If you can't get him into a cave, a wall will work, but not as well. Here you can have a Berserker combo the daylights out of the Spirit Bear until the bear itself becomes a spirit. If you die, and nobody has revive stones, as a last resort there are a couple fairies hidden in the stands. If you didn't know, you can actually punch fairies as a ghost, and it will revive you. Make sure the healers do this first, since they are most important. Remember that these don't reduce your score, they're just free revives out there waiting to be collected. Each farm animal has its own ability. The rabbits are very fast, and are difficult to hit. The cows have a ton of health, and charge at you like a stampede. The sheep walk up to you and explode when they get close. And the chickens rain down from the sky and shoot lightning if you get close. The chickens are extremely dangerous, so stay as far away from them as possible. Oh, and one more thing. If you get launched into the air, a massive swarm of bats will instantly kill you, so stay on the ground when possible. Finally, let's talk about some tricks you can use when shooting Thorn to prevent that terrible final arrow from missing in front of 250 people who immediately spam L in chat. Thorn has two phases to his AI. After every arrow, he speeds up, making it more difficult to hit, but on the final shot, he starts to change his directions. It can be hard to predict, and it might seem like he moves at the very last second to dodge your arrow. Let's talk about how to accurately hit the first 4 arrows first. Something to note when using the spirit bow is that it likes to shoot low. If you have ever played the minigame party games, you might know what I'm talking about. If not, just remember to try and aim a little high to hit Thorn. Secondly, is to shoot the arrow when he's coming towards you, and stand back a bit to give the arrow time to gain altitude. You can see in the video how I find a clear spot where there are no farm animals, draw my bow early, and fire it when Thorn is a reasonable distance away and flying towards me. The final arrow can be a bit tricky. My preferred method to do it is to stand near the opposite side of the map as Thorn, and get used to the speed he flies at. Once he turns around, I start following him, staying a good distance back. Then, when I get the feeling he will turn towards me, I draw the bow back, and as soon as I see him turn, I fire at him. This ensures that Thorn will not turn back when shooting him, and gives me the best chance possible to land the shot. There are a few more things left to cover before I end the video. The first one is the unfortunate nerf to the Bonzo staff. With the recent damage scaling reduction, the new best weapon is currently the Frozen Scythe. This may change as we upgrade our gear further. Next is the use of Cleave. Personally, I don't think it's worth using. Since Cleave does so little damage, it will never be useful during the boss fight. Thirdly, with the new rework with how mana is regenerated, you must attack monsters to regenerate your mana, so be sparing with your abilities when running away. You can easily run out of mana spamming your zombie sword, or aspect at the end. Only use these for emergencies. My final tip to share with you all is to stick with one class. The higher level you get in a certain class, the stronger you will be. If you switch classes, you may need to grind the previous floor a bit to be strong enough to take on floor 4. Floor 4 gives a lot more experience compared to previous ones, so building up your catacombs and skill level will be the biggest difference you can make. Thanks for watching today's video. Since you made it to the end, if you haven't already, consider clicking the subscribe button. Something that simple can really have a large impact on my life if enough of you do it. The support you all give me is amazing, and I couldn't ask for anything better. It's been well over a year since I started making Skyblock guides, and we may be a small channel still, but I do have faith that one day we can get to YouTube rank. If you want to help me, that sub button is just one click away. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.